I have to tell you ladies that I was quite convicted the other day when I overheard my husband talking to some other men. I wasn't eavesdropping, they were just kind of talking over to the side and I could hear what they were saying. I don't know that my husband knew I was standing there, but he was telling the men that he sometimes does things for me not because he feels like doing it, but just because he knows I will appreciate it. And all of a sudden I was like, really? Really? And it suddenly dawned on me, probably with the help of the Holy Spirit kind of cluing me in here, that my husband actually probably does quite a few things that he doesn't feel like doing, that he just does because he knows I appreciate it. That maybe my husband is more selfless and more noble than I had ever thought. Let me give you some examples. In fact, he gave one of these examples. I know this is kind of weird, but he massages my feet for a few minutes right before I go to sleep every night. Every night he does that. Now, I just kind of thought he enjoyed doing that. I mean, I don't know, he just did that, and so I thought, oh, he just kind of enjoys doing that. But you know what? He does that not because he feels like it. In fact, he was telling the guys that sometimes he does not feel like that. He's tired, he's exhausted, but he knows that I appreciate it. And it was like, I just felt like I was almost blindsided. I hadn't realized that he was actually doing this selflessly to put me first. And then it started to just kind of dawn on me that he does a lot of things like that I just took for granted. Like, he usually takes my car almost every Saturday morning and fills it up with gas just because he wants me to have a full gas tank and he doesn't want me to have to run across town to get gas. I don't know, I just kind of always thought he liked doing that. I think he does that to serve me. Let's see, what else does he do? I mean, there's a ton of things. Okay, this is a silly one, but you can probably relate to this because women go through a lot of toilet paper. I can't believe I'm talking about that on the video. Anyway, I never ever encounter an empty toilet paper roll because he always, when he notices it's getting low, puts a new one right there for me to use so that I never run out. I mean, does he probably feel like doing all these things? Probably not, but he's doing it to serve me. He is doing what the Bible commands husbands to do in Ephesians 5:25, where God says, husbands, you should love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Well, my husband's been doing that, and I hadn't hardly even noticed. I just took these things for granted. Are you taking your husband for granted? I mean, the fact that he's maybe working overtime hours, maybe you thought he wanted to do that. Maybe he's doing it because he's trying to provide plenty of money for you and the children, and maybe he didn't really feel like doing that, but he's doing it for you. Maybe he's more noble than you thought. I guess the question is, how are we doing? Ephesians 5:33 commands wives to respect their husbands, whether we feel like it or not. Kind of convicting, huh? How are you doing at showing respect to your husband, whether you feel like it or not?